Traders, welcome back to the channel. Today we're talking about AMC. I'm going to be going over the close that we had on Friday. I'm not going to be going over too much of the plan going into Monday just yet. I'll probably have that posted tomorrow morning, so you can check that out then if you want. I have to make this video pretty quick, short, and to the point, so stay with me. Also want to cover a little bit of what Jim Cramer said. Now, I know the guy's kind of a nobody, and he doesn't really matter when it comes to AMC stock, but he had some good things to say about the AMC movement, and he kind of brought in a different perspective on the 43 million shares, which we've kind of been discussing over the past few days. Now, I want to cover this stuff pretty in depth and pretty quickly. Also want to kind of dispute some of the stuff Jim Cramer said, kind of on the negative side of things. So let's not waste any more time. Let's get to it.
What I want, you got, and it might be hard to handle.
All right, so the first thing we're going to do is going to watch this really quick short segment from Jim Cramer, and then I'm going to kind of comment on what he was saying there, because it kind of sides in the theory of why Adam Aron did what he did.
Stocks that might not be speaking loudly for this market, but their investors are speaking loudly for them are AMC and Microvision. Jim, why are these two meme stocks that you're watching?
Okay, well, let's take these one at a time. AMC, rather remarkable. This is a very interesting thing that happened here. So Adam Aron, the CEO, and I've known him for years, he initially said he's going to do on Mad Money. He had a proxy statement now saying he's going to sell 500 million shares at the market. He came on and reiterated that on Squawk on the Street. And then what happens is the stock gets clocked. He then pulls back and says he won't sell any until next year. And then he scraps that entirely last night and said he's going to sell 43 million at the market. Now, so he went from being someone who people are angry at to being someone where, people are fine with 43 million. What's incredible is that had he just said he's going to sell 43 million, not ever put that 500 million marker out there, I think people would be furious. But it was because he reduced it that people are excited, and it's barely down 30 cents. I wouldn't be surprised if he's not in there selling somewhat furiously because the stock is up so much.
All right, so the first thing I want to talk about is Adam Aron did this thing completely different than the history books. Now, if you come into the company, what they did is they announced they're going to do a 500 mil share dilution. Then he went on trades and announced that he was going to not use one of those single shares until the end of the year. And this is all while he was actually commenting this on CNBC as well, going on there all the time for the past like 3 weeks. He was just on there every single day almost, is what it seemed like. And then he comes out and announces that, look, we're preparing to sell these 43 million, but we're absolutely wiping the 500 mil share dilution or even the vote off the table right now. Now, the question is it Adam Aron and dupe us all? Now, I'm not going to say that I believe this, because I don't believe he is doing this, because he would have already sold if that was the case. So the theory is that he made up this 500 mil share dilution to kind of get holders on his side. And if you look at the case, holders got on the man's side after he went on trade stream. I'm just saying that's just the fact of what it is. No like harm or foul in trade at all. It's just people manipulating people. It's what the world is. It's what business is. It's what large firms are. They manipulate people to get money to do and meet their agenda. Now, I don't really judge the character of Adam Aron. I think he's doing a great job at AMC. They survived the roughest year in the history of movie theaters. Most likely this will go down in the history books. So kudos to you, Adam Aron, because you are succeeding and your stock is worth quite a bit for what it's worth right now. So these are pretty good focal points. Adam Aron, again, congrats. So what we're looking at, do you think that Adam Aron duped the people? And by what I'm saying by this is, was his intentions ever really to do another 500 mil share dilution? Possibly. I still side with he saw the votes. I want to highlight that. I still want to side that I think he saw the votes. He knew that this wasn't going to really go into effect either way. So he was like, let's just wipe it off the table. Let's get the 43 million prepared to sell off. He's not going to, I don't think he's going to sell them right now at this $10 price range. I don't believe that. I think he's going to wait for a more vertical move up to about at least $20. I would say that's the bottom price that Adam Aron really wants to sell those shorts at. I could be wrong. I have been wrong before, so that's worth noting. But that's just what my gut tells me. If he was going to sell those already, he would have already sold them. And just my opinion. Now, it's worth noting those are ready to be sold. He has the shelf offering prepared. It's with large banks, so he can deload these anytime he wants. But what I do want to highlight before I go any further in the video is that people think that Adam Aron is on your side, and they think that, other people and other YouTubers are on your side. And I'm not condescending or talking about anyone else on YouTube or any other, firm or any other CEO out there. I'm just saying you are in charge of your own money. So if you're in the money on your trade and you're saying, okay, well, we have to go to $1,000, just remember nothing is guaranteed. It kind of GameStop was a 1 in a million opportunity. The fact that lightning might strike twice in the same year, grabbed at the same, quarter almost, kind of improbable. But AMC, the numbers look amazing. I don't know if AMC is going to go to $100, $200, $300, or $1,000. I think 1,000 is pretty improbable, but we'll have to see what happens. But what I will say is be responsible for your own money. Don't blame other people. Don't get mad when things don't potentially go your way either. But let's keep going into the video because there's some key points on Friday that I want to cover. All right, so the first thing I want to cover is going to be the volume that we had on Friday. Now, we can see that the volume, oh, look at those sweet hot mamacitas. Coming down, you can see that we were just decreasing in volume all week. We started right here at the 78 million. That's the Monday. And then from there, it just decreased gradually every single day. Wah, wah, wah. And as you see, what needs to change? I do want to highlight we did hold $10. That's going to be a focal point going into the chart. I'm not going to cover the chart too extensively in this video, but I do want to highlight that we did hold $10. That was a very strong point. We did get that 10-20 push, which I did expect. It wasn't really great to see, but we did expect it. All in all, it could be a lot worse. People are saying people are covering. I doubt people are covering. I don't think the share price represents anyone covering quite yet, unless the data is just that flawed and just that delayed, which would really suck, but it could happen. You have to take into all probabilities. I know we like to talk about manipulation like it's candy and godsent, but you need to take into account that possibly, there's other effects and scenarios that are happening behind the scenes that we don't want to see happen that potentially are happening. So maybe the data is flawed. Maybe the data is, coming in a little bit late. However, I don't believe that's the case. I believe there's still more. I don't think 1220 is the local top right now, but we'll have to see what happens. And then my personal favorite, coming back down to eyebrow dust. I'm going to keep highlighting this point, but something I do want to talk about. So coming into Thursday, I believe it was, we have 1.1 million shares come back onto the board. And if you remember, I was raging because we went from a 26.2% borrow fee. Now we're back at a 14%, 14.7, give or take, maybe 15% if you're a rounder. I'm not a rounder, so I can't really tell you that. I'm going to say it's 14% because it pisses me off even more. So as we look at this, the available shares comes back down to 150K. But as you know, as demand increases, the value decreases.
What?
It doesn't really make sense to me either. We'll have to just play it by ear. A lot of people seem to not be able to really make sense of this. It's pretty frustrating stuff. But again, I want to highlight we have seen this before when we were at the 9.4 level back in February. And then when we pump back up, the same thing happened. Now, history does tend to repeat itself, but I'm not saying push all in based on history repeating itself. Although I've made quite a bit of money doing that sometimes, but I'm a risky guy. And then we're going to come take a quick look at the chart. And I know I'm flying through this video. The first thing I do want to do is going to be looking at this OBV. Now we are holding this local bottom range that we had marked out down here, but there's something I want to talk about with Friday. Now there is a lot of bad talk about Friday. There is a lot of people not very happy. Now I want to highlight the market was getting absolutely wrecked. Now it's worth mentioning at the end of the month, typically those are flatter days, or we push back up at least to that monthly opening level, but we were well above the monthly level on all indexes because April was a great month. And if you've been listening to me since the end of March, I did tell everyone April was going to be a great month for stocks because it was earnings season, and let me tell you something, it paid off. So as we're looking right now, I want to look at AMC's chart on the daily. This purple line right here represents the beginning of the day, just so you know, right here to here. So this represents the whole trading day for AMC. Overall, a very flat day. Now, I want to highlight why I don't think this was that bad. So it says we closed out at $10. I believe we closed it at 10.3. If you look at Yahoo Finance or some other brokers like that, I do want to highlight that, but at least we closed at 10 here on TradingView. Another thing I want to point out is even though it looks like we had some downside on the day, let's take a look at the OBV to show where the buyers were coming in, who was selling, what was going on like that. You can actually see for the beginning of the day, we had an uptrend, a break back down, and we ended the day back on the upside. This doesn't look that bad either. And again, like I pointed out, you can see we're holding that local bottom range, that purple line. We have not broke out of this range here. So this is very good news and something to be looking forward to going into Monday. So I do want to highlight that. This does not look horrendous, but we have some groundwork to cover. We pretty much gave up every piece of territory that we had on the books. So tomorrow I'm going to be going over my option positions, what I'm going to be looking at with those as well. Am I looking to roll them over? How am I going to be trading them in the beginning of the week? Because right now, currently as it sits, I'm about $2,500 deep into AMC options. God bless. And I'm going to be straightforward with you. On those options, I'm down about 1,700. Wham. But right now I'm playing with money that I've already won. Now people are getting upset saying, Tyler, why are you exiting your options? One thing you should know, options do not affect, yes, they do not affect a short squeeze. So know that, don't get all mad because you're not even educated on that fact of what's going on. Number two, numero dos. I'm playing with money that I've already won. Over the past 3 trades on AMC, you can ask anyone from the Discord, we've been winning on the trades. So now we're just playing with one money. Now, if you're one of the people in the Discord and you're like, well, I'm playing with more money than I had originally, that's your problem. I'm not telling you how much to get into trades. I'm not telling you what to do. You know, my personal rule is to get in 10 to 12% of the total amount that I had to play with options. And then when it comes to AMC, it's even less than that because AMC is such a speculative play in my opinion. Now, people down below will say AMC is a guarantee. Wham, bam, thank you, man. But I'm going to tell you it is not. It is a speculative, scary play. I'm going to stay with that thesis. But I do feel very strongly when it comes to the numbers, and I like what AMC's been doing. That's going to wrap the video up, guys. Like, subscribe, do what you got to do. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Namaste.
Yeah, yeah.